Hey there, David Coe with the Coe Real Estate Group. Hope you're doing well. On this week's newsletter, I want to give you an update on where the 2023 real estate market finished up here in the LA area, as well as kind of give you a bit of a preview on where things are shaping up in January. So the first thing you'll see in the article below, mortgage demand has actually jumped 10% to start the year, which is a good sign. We call this seasonality. It's happening just like it happens every year. And even those interest rates started to tick up again, one of the things that I thought was interesting is there has been an increase in refinance, almost 20% year over year. So rates are finally starting to come down to a point where people that either bought in the last couple of years where rates were higher, or people that didn't have a chance to refi out of some high interest debt, in the years when the rates got really low, are finally seeing an opportunity to do that. And looking at rates, rates are, as of this week, down to, the mid sixes, 6.6. Rates did tick up a little bit the first 2 weeks, just a hair, not much, but they corrected again this week. And, we're down at 6.6%, which certainly sounds high compared to where we've been for the last few years. But when you look out historically where we've been, you can see that these are the kind of mid six rates is where we were in 2007, where we were, roughly in 2022, where we were in the 90s. When you look out historically where we've been at interest rates, we're at a fairly moderate level. And even looking at where we were, this is kind of the run up to the 2005 where, rates dropped down to the high fives. That's where most experts are predicting rates are going to be before the end of this year, which is a, healthy place for real estate rates to be. And then, of course, looking at the impact on the market, probably the biggest thing that we've been impacted by is just the number of closed sales. The blue here represents the number of sales in Los Angeles County. The red is in Orange County. And you can just see from this graph the impact that high rates had on inventory going all the way back, down even to 2008, which is as far back as we have data on this data source. So the number of sales have been impacted dramatically. The actual, I think is interesting, new listings completely down in October, November, and December because rates were high. Active listings dropped down, and days on market actually went up a little bit. I think it was just really due to a lack of inventory, because when we look at months supply are also down by the end of December. So at the end of the year, we had, right around 2.5 months of inventory in LA County, less than 2 months of inventory in Orange County, which still shows it as a seller's market, but it's not a seller's market like it was in December of 2021, where it was less than a month, less than 2 months in LA County, which was when, prices seemed to skyrocket. And of course, the impact on pricing, we've been slowly kind of, we peaked back in April. We kind of hit about a 10% decrease looking at January about a year ago. But year over year, looking at the end of the year, prices were up almost 10%, depending on LA County or Orange County, from in 2023 versus where we ended up in 2022. So prices still seem to be strong. Volume is down, but we do project, especially when we look at activity, you can see that we had a big jump last year. Here was our January, which January sales are usually a byproduct of what happens in December. In February, they ticked up a little bit, and then in March we had this big peak. As the spring selling season kind of kicked in. So that's what we're projecting for this month. We're seeing a lot of activity, and how this could affect you and your real estate situation. Well, that's a conversation we'd love to have with you about what you have going on this year. So please reach out to myself, someone for your team. We'd love to give you some great advice on real estate. David Coe with the Coe Real Estate Group. I hope you're doing well and hope to talk to you soon.